Might actually be smaller than the real cockpit, I'm not too sure. Alright, so we've got a bunch of stuff planned today. We've got ourselves a nice flight plan from Shellharbour on the east coast of Australia. And we are going to be heading down to Melbourne, flying south. Mostly because this is one of the handcrafted airports, and this is Melbourne. I don't think Melbourne was handcrafted, but I think they overhauled it a bit. So I have no idea how or if we're actually going to be able to push back from here, because as you can see, we have planted our plane's nose directly into the side of the hangar. But that's where the sim put us, and that's what we've got. I haven't fully decided yet if I want to actually do this on VATSIM or not, because I wanted to fly a bit over Sydney, and you know, that's not necessarily going to work out so well with real air traffic and other people. But I think maybe we'll keep it in our back pocket. We'll get the airplane all set up to go here, and we will return to that decision in a little bit and see whether or not we're going to actually hop on VATSIM or not. I'm connected, but we'll see. Right now there is no coverage here at all, but the Melbourne Centre is online, which is where we would be heading into, so we'll see. It's been a long time since I've done any VATSIM, so I'm a little nervous about it, but as you can see, we're in this wonderful Qantas 100-year livery. And this giant 747 over in the back with the Qantas livery, that is actually part of the airport. So that's part of the handcraftedness that Asobo put into this. Otherwise, this airport is pretty small. It is a very short runway. There's some pretty cool scenery around it, though. Like, we are right near the coast. Beautiful looking. So we'll do our best. We should be able to take off just fine. Let's get inside and let's get our co-pilot to start doing some things for us. Actually, let's get the airplane fired up first.
Let's start setting up.
Okay.
My track IR. She's gonna go outside for the walk around. And I know you probably can't see this on the stream, but my CDU unit over here now works with the Flybywire Airbus, which is awesome stuff. Meaning the display works. The button always worked, but the display now works too, thanks to the the never-ending efforts of
I'm out for the walk around.
the guy behind Spad.next. If you've got any sort of controls that you need to get working, highly recommend Spat.next. I initially bought it just to get my Logitech radio panels to work, and now I have just a crap ton of other stuff all working because of his work. So, alright, we've got that going. Captain Oxy. I don't know if I've seen that before. Alright, but get our ADIRS oxygen crew supply going. We'll get the beacon on, and we will go and get our APU fired up here. And then we'll get the airplane programmed in and configured. Before we do that, we're going to go start our flight in PAX. The enter departure airport wasn't found. Oh, come on. Okay, I guess we're not doing PAX. Lame. I don't know how to update the nav data in it, but I think it's because actually Volanta had the same problem. This airport was called something else before, but I don't think that I can just replace it. Let's see. We'll give it a try. PAX would have been kind of cool. So it does not know what this is, but I think it was Yankee Whiskey Whiskey Lima. I think it might know. I think that's what this used to be called. Maybe, anyways. We'll give it a shot. It is on the ground, but okay, so we're not where that is. Okay. I guess we can't use it. Sorry, Pax. I'll have to look into if there's a way to update that with Navigraph nav data at some point. I've also completely lost track of what to do. It's been a while since I've flown the Airbus, so let me go grab my checklist. Seatbelts. I hear those can come in handy. And emergency lighting. APU is running, which means we can turn off our external power. We're running on our own APU now. Altimeter's set to local. That's not what that did. That turned the flight director off. Interesting. Okay, what do we have? It doesn't know about this airport either. Fun. I mean, the weather looks pretty good. Well, let's actually see what Microsoft thinks the altimeter is here. No METAR available. All right. Standard it is. I'm surprised that she has not yet come back from the walk around, but we'll go get ourselves set up here. Again, it's been a while. We want to initialize. Okay, done that. Weights and balances. Let's start boarding. Actually, let's see, can we get a weather request in here, maybe? Probably not. If it's not available there, I don't think we'll be able to get it in here either, but...
I'm back. No issues on the walk around.
Okay. I don't think that worked. That's fine. We will just assume that everything is standard and nothing to worry about for us. Flight plan is uploaded. This will be a flaps 1 takeoff. What do we got for V1? Okay, that's pretty much the same as it always is. 122, 123 for rotate. Good. Let's check our legs page here for a second. Because it's got us doing a very wonky, yeah, it's got us doing like an immediate left turn, which is, you know, that's correct, but I think we're going to try to fly on heading mode for a bit straight through over Sydney. We'll do some manual flying, manual navigation. Just flipping through the waypoints. So we don't have any special departure at all, but I should probably make sure that it has got runway 34 in here. No SIDS. Insert. And we can... Well, let's clear that. You know what, we are going to clear this too, because I don't want that in there. It's just going to mess things up. We'll leave the flight plan discontinuity in there so that we can do our own turnaround here. And our arrival. What do I have set? Lizzie 8 Alpha arrival. ILS Yankee runway 27 visas. 27 Yankee. Lizzie 8 Alpha. Via visas. Insert. And that all looks nice and continuous. No issues there. Okay, that's our FMS configured. I do always forget. There we go. Our weights. Let's get those in there. Excellent. Now we're good. To get this, hurry this pre-flight stuff along a little bit.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Thanks.
Stop, park, and brake. I want the door locked. There we go. Chunk. Predictive wind shear. Auto. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
Are you sure about that? Adiers.
What isn't on an auto? Wow, looks fine to me.
Nav.
Are you sure about that? Fuel quantity.
Oh, it's being stupid, isn't it?
5060 kilograms. Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Vero ref.
2992. Set.
2992. Set. Down to the line.
This could get interesting because I think for some reason the FS2 crew connection got severed like right off the bat, which is always great. Always fun when that happens. But sometimes that does happen, so well, that is what it is. Any user Qantas 449er. Let's go to an initial altitude. We'll just do 5. Actually, what is the minimum safe altitude over Sydney? Let me have a look. Might as well do this somewhat reasonably safe. 3,000. Okay, yeah, so. Wow, why is this? I don't know, there is some weird stuff happening here. This could be a very interesting flight. I feel like there's some stuff here that's not working right. It's just a lot of lag for some reason. All right. Let's see if we can even get out of here. Otherwise, this may be a very short flight attempt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger
Below the
items
line.
in our
Windows and
overhead
doors.
compartments. If you need
Closed.
assistance, contact
Closed.
a
Beacon.
flight attendant.
On.
If you are
Thrust
unable
levers.
to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it for
Idle.
you.
Are you sure
Also,
about that?
review
Parking
the
brake.
safety instruction card in your seat pocket. If you are seated in
Off.
an exit
Before
seat,
start
also
checklist
review the
complete.
exit seat
Parking brake is definitely not off. It's on. So, alright, yeah, this is... I don't know why that happens to that app, but it's dumb. Fuel pumps. If you bleed on... Let's see if we can even get any kind of pushback here.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, flight deck. We will be ready shortly. Roger.
Hey guys, are we clear to close?
Yes.
If we have
Thanks.
issues,
Let me know if you need
we'll
anything.
disconnect off VATSIM so that at least we're not causing issues for anybody else. It's one thing for us to have our own issues. I don't know why my button never works for Pushback Express. It only works like about 40% of the time. I love these apps, they're great, but they are not... Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why it's being completely broken. Oh, come on. There's just some nonsense about it that I just can't read. And the tug is actually currently connected, even though there isn't a physical one visible, but nose wheel steering is disconnected, so it's actually...
Cockpit to ground.
It actually is
Go ahead,
connected.
flight deck. We will be ready shortly. Roger.
Yeah, and there's no way that we can actually move here without some pushback. Let's see. Can we get the in-game ATC to push us back? Of course not. Now, what is the way to do that? Is it Control P? I think we might be able to use... If we're lucky, we might be able to use the Flybywire built-in pushback stuff here. I just don't know if it's actually going to... because there is no tug. It does look like one's connected. Well, that looked like we were moving for a second, didn't it? Why does it only work a few inches? Do I have to hold it? That's not how that's supposed to work, is it? Surely not. Okay, well, we can I guess jerk our way backwards like this. That's moving. Oh, maybe is it because we were no. Oh, that's what I have to do. I'm sorry. I don't actually know how to use these.
Starting engine 2.
Once again,
Good enough.
Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew
I have a
instructions,
company
lighted
message.
information signs, and posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle.
Oh, we get a METAR? No
Pulling
METAR
on the
available.
belt.
Well, we did get one.
Release
It's
your
just
seatbelt, lift the metal flap
same as
on
what
the
we already
buckle.
knew.
It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated. Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation.
Okay, so
Each
we
door
can
is
disconnect the
equipped with an
tug.
escape slide. Locate the exit
Hopefully.
nearest you. The nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen masks will appear.
Yep.
Remain
Okay, good.
seated
We've
with
got
your
one engine.
seatbelt fastened and pull a mask toward you to start
Starting
the
engine
flow of
1.
oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by
Might just have to
pulling
fly
on the
this
hand.
puppy by hand tonight.
Secure your own mask before assisting others.
By hand, I mean without
Bottom cushion
the
may be
assistance
used
of our
as a
co-pilot.
flotation device.
Even though she's
Pull up and
there,
remove
we'll see
the
what she's
cushion.
actually able to do.
On exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatories. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
APU off. We've got 2 good engines. After start checklist.
Start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
26% set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
Flight control check.
Ready. Full down.
I mean, she can still
Full up.
recognize
Neutral.
these commands,
Full left.
so maybe it will work.
Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
The real trick will be
Full
to see if she's going to do any of her
Full
checks.
right. Neutral.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
She's right now. I can look at the flight controls on the ECAM. So the co-pilot is moving them, checking them right now. So that's good. I guess we'll see.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Okay, so but she was not able to do the... Yeah. She did not do the takeoff config. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, so she's not going to do flaps by the looks of it. I think flaps is what's broken. Thanks for the follow, Joshua Wayne. Right.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Check. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Check. Briefing.
Confirmed.
Flap setting.
Are you sure about that?
V1, VR, V2, flex temp.
Oh, that's right.
Are you sure about that? ATC.
Yeah, so that stuff's
Set.
ECAM memo.
partially broken.
Takeoff. No blue.
Down to the line.
Okay, well, ATC is not actually set. Now it is. Kind of. I want TARA, and I've forgotten how to do that. It is on TARA. That's on. Okay, well, we'll leave it like that for a sec. 12375. We're not really underneath this guy, but we might as well tune his frequency. Melbourne Center. Actually, I should be on Unicom.
Approaching 08.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Approach path clear of traffic.
Okay. On the map. No airplanes near us here, really, so we're good. I don't really need to say anything.
Below the line.
Takeoff runway.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
TCAS.
TARA.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Packs.
Packs are off.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Approaching 34.
Oh. I hate the tiller on this airplane. Screw it.
Approaching
Take off.
34.
Stop.
Check.
On runway 34.
After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Oh, geez, it's all fucked now. Okay. We'll have to tell her to go away in a minute.
Packs are on. Speed. Speed.
What is going on? Wowie, 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 wowie. 5,000, please. At 250. About as much went wrong there as could have.
1,000 to go.
Check.
Only thing that didn't go wrong is we didn't crash into anything. So I do not want the after start checklist.
Take off.
Check.
Man flex SRS auto thrust blue.
Check.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
Packs are off.
Down to the line.
Clear rad nav.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think we have solved that. I mean, I know how to fly this plane without the first officer here. That's not a problem.
Below the line.
Barrel rest.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff, climb checklist complete.
So I need to actually look a little bit at the map here so that we can see. I'm going to fly over to... yeah, some of my controls here are just not working right. I don't know why. Let's fly at about this heading. Well, the airplane's looking good. Really need to check why this is not displaying properly. That is so bizarre. For some reason we're on the... There we go. That flight director wasn't on. That was one thing that was throwing me off, which I did that accidentally earlier when I pushed a button that I shouldn't have pushed. And then FS2 crew not working properly threw me for a bit of a loop. And then I accidentally raised the flaps far too soon, which caused the autothrottle to freak out and the systems to freak out. Admittedly, they were just trying to save our lives, but it was still slightly annoying. So essentially, we're just going to fly up. That's this is Greater Sydney. They're ahead of us already. I think the harbor is. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's just on the other side of that, isn't it? Let's go try out our newly purchased Sky for Sim, which gives us a nice little like iPad in here with a map. So we get a nice street view. Okay, so we are still a ways away. Well, we're just going to fly over in this direction. We'll probably change our course a little bit here. Probably want to go more like 020. And we'll do like a loop around here down the coast, and then we'll continue on our filed route. And the good thing is it's quiet on VATSIM here at the moment, so should be all right. If we get yelled at, we can always bounce. Weather is beautiful today. Looks like it will be 19 degrees Celsius in Melbourne, so the temperature here is probably the same, probably warmer actually, because we're further north, which is further to the closer to the equator. So there's an airport over there that I believe I've taken off before on Shacknews when we did a flight around Sydney in the Icon A5. So starting to be a bit more of a familiar area. I'm just keeping an eye on the map there just to make sure, because there are a couple of airplanes around. On VATSIM. But it looks like they are all planes that actually arrived. Or, oh, there's one that's departing. But they appear to still be on the ground in Sydney International. So we're not going to fly straight over it. We'll give it a bit of a berth. There's Sydney, coming to the clouds. Sydney Harbour, you can see the Opera House. Gorgeous. Oh, come on, and now my CDU just disconnected itself. That is incredibly lame. Let's go to a heading of 090. We'll do a heading of 100. Looks cool. This is Windows Power Management to blame, by the way. I ran the thing earlier yesterday. I should have done it again today. Okay. I'm going to swing out over the ocean here, and so that means Yes, that these do not work, and I wonder if I can... If I restart SPAD, it should fix it. But I dare not. I'm not going to... Not going to do it. We are, however, going to go direct wall. All right. Look at the cliffs there. That is some view right here. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Might as well. Oh, we've already got it set to 34. So this also stopped working. Well, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's probably actually not the software's fault. It's probably just something in my configuration that's no longer reading it. So the LNAV is being super wonky though. Why is it not, I mean, that's not the line that... it's trying to get to the line. Gotcha. I zoomed out so far on the ND that I couldn't tell. Such a bummer that the CDU got lost its connection. That is so frustrating. Okay. Clouds ahead of us there. Nothing too major though. So we'll see. When we get closer to the Melbourne Centre ATC controller on VATSIM, we'll see if we stay online or not. It's been a while since I've been on VATSIM, and there's a couple of things currently not working right in the aircraft that are making me a little bit gun-shy about staying online. Mostly because I have like a half-functioning co-pilot, and my CDU has lost its connection to the simulator, so I cannot... I can't quickly edit stuff in the CDU. So it's just, you know, probably not the ideal conditions to be back on VATSIM for the first time in a while. But we will see. So speaking of the CDU, let's have a look at our actual arrival stuff here. So we need to be at 9,000 at mate. And 2,500 there. That looks like that's our final. Well, final approach fix is probably MATCU 2,500. So, but 9,000 is our first. Some quick math from what is going to be our cruising altitude of flight level 340 down to 9,000. That is 25,000 feet. Times 3 is 75. Plus, we will need to be slowing down as well. So 75 plus another, let's call it 6, 81. So 81 miles around mate. Let me get a fix going. I said 81. Let's do 82. 82 nautical miles. Quick check on our ND. There we go. So that gives us a reasonable indication of when we should be descending. And after that, we should be fine to just manage it from there. We'll go from 9,000 to 2,500. Doing the ILS runway 27, ILS 27 Yankee, I believe. Also get the... Are they on now? They're on. I want them off. There we go. Landing lights off. We're well above the 10,000 feet mark. So I'll make a note to fix. Fix things. Fix the MCDU display, which is not working quite right for some reason. Maybe some variables changed. It's also a new alpha version of SPAD.next, so maybe something changed there. Even though I don't think so. Everything else carried over. My guess is that something in my wonky, funky logic to get stuff to display is just a little bit off. The one I'm really not sure about is why the altitude would be off, but I might have a quick look at that now, actually, because we can. Since we are just climbing up to flight level 290 at the moment, let's have a quick look here. This is where I spend a lot of time. See, this is what we should be seeing on the CDU, but it's unfortunately gone to sleep. Stupid Windows power management. But yeah, that says 34,000. As it should. So it's reflecting there, but not on the device. Okay, well that's strange. It should also be showing AP1. So that's the... I can't help but think that maybe there is actually a bug in the latest alpha of SPAD, because this is the second kind of device now that's showing numbers slightly differently than it's showing in here, because usually when you see it in this preview here, that's what I actually see on the device, but in this case it doesn't. It does not do that. Row 2, segment 2, segment 1, altitude lock format. That's... That was cool. That was actually someone on Unicom in VATSIM. Quite far away, judging by the low signal strength. Well, let me see if I can get a sense of how busy Melbourne Centre is at the moment. Bat scope is excellent for departing Melbourne, for arriving. And ADIS is provided by the centre.
1,000 to go.
Check.
We're gonna skip doing the approach on VATSIM. It is too many things going not quite right. Next time. I'll have a couple of these things fixed for our next flight, and we'll give it another go. Otherwise, this plane is actually a real joy to fly on VATSIM because it's pretty full-featured. It can do most of the things. Holds are now in experimental, even though I've never actually flown one. So it's quite good. And it usually flies itself very, like the autopilot is very, very good. I'm just having some hardware issues today, so I kind of want to leave those alone. Beautiful view in this camera angle from the tail. We'll get some pre-recorded ATC chatter going. What's up, Axeman? Welcome to beautiful Australia. Is it not playing audio for me again? COM 1 is not powered. What are you talking about? It is all fake, but look at how fake it is, though. It's beautiful.
It's Alpha Control Radar, and 8,300 feet on 3H1027.
Velocity 1175, better left, please heading 340.
That's 340, velocity 1175.
Well, I mean, the graphics are amazing in this simulator. They really are. It is so good.
Velocity 845, we need you to cross river at time 55 at 250 knots. Did you want to ever go at that under your own speed if prefer, Victor?
Rivet to time 5525, so much from Rivet, velocity 845, get back to you within 1 minute.
All the little details, like you can count the farmhouses down there and everything. Oh, that too. I don't know how well this comes across in the stream, but this is a pen holder, and the little textures have, you know, little pen lines from, you know, people missing when they put their ballpoint pen in there. Speed off a little bit. Those details are really cool. I love the reflections too in the game. Like the way that stuff reflects in the windshields.
So 845, to comply with the time, request descent flight level 310.
Yeah. Elite Dangerous does a really cool job of that. I don't know if you ever looked at that much or played it, but when you fly through space, it over time wears off the paint job on your spaceship. So if you go on really long voyages and explorations and stuff, by the time you get back to the station, you'll actually notice the paint has chipped off, which is really cool. It's another game that you can sink hundreds and hundreds of hours into. Who's got the time?
Heading 090, very 905.
So my MCU panel here is all kinds of messed up. Before it relaunched, as in when it got the space legs, when it got the, what is it, Horizons update? Or even earlier than that. Right. I used to play it quite a bit. It's also really amazing in VR. I have not played it since Horizons, so I never checked that part out. I still have a bunch of good spaceships. A buddy of mine and I, we were going to go on a trip to, I'm blanking on the name now, but to one of the further away sections in the galaxy, and we were going to go on a long trip, but then life got in the way. It demands a lot of your time, Elite Dangerous does. As one of my first experiences in VR was in Elite Dangerous, and the sense of scale in the cockpit, it's the same in VR and Flight Sim here. Like when you sit here, right now, it doesn't seem like the size is not, it doesn't convey the proper sense of size as it does in VR. The Descent sequel, is that what it's trying to say? I have not played the original. Is it any good? It looked kind of interesting. I worry it might be too fast-paced for me in VR. I do pretty well in VR, but not with anything too fast-paced on the when it comes to motion. I'm best either like Beat Saber is fine, like some table tennis stuff is fine too, but anything that involves movement makes me a little bit queasy unless it's at slower speeds. Like flying, I don't have any issues with in VR, unless it's like spaceship super speeds, small fighters. So. Descent 2, that brings back memories. Yeah, those quick, yeah, exactly, those quick movements, they mess me up. But having said that, I haven't tried it in a very long time, and I feel like my VR legs have gotten much better. Like my body has adjusted itself to VR much more, because this is actually the first time that I've flown not in VR since the last stream I did. Everything in between I've been flying in VR. Focus group it? Yeah.
Thanks, when ready, descend 10,000 feet, QNH is 1022, speed for the descent 250 knots until 10,000. 10,000 feet, 1022, and speed on descent 250 knots, carry 907.
So the good news is our arrival, I believe, and our arrival and approach are super simple in this, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this flight on VATSIM, but some technical limitations got me spooked. So I'll have to fix some of these for next time. Which is also ironic because I never noticed it, because all the dials work fine, but the display, it might have actually not been working for a while, but I never see it in VR because I don't see the, you know, the readouts on the panels here when I'm in VR. I just look at the ones inside the cockpit, and those are all correct. And when I make changes, things change as they should. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll be able to tweak it, fix it. My next thing that I'm excited about is what just arrived is my butt kicker. It's like a force feedback device for your chair.
We'll stay 45. We're looking at being 2 minutes early. Request a fallback then.
No problem. We'll see 45 turn left on the heading 350. I'll take that away for about 4 minutes. Then direct to River should work.
Okay, thank you. Turning left heading 350, we'll say 45. We thought it'd be good to get out of the wind. It's still 120 knots here. Tailwind, thank you.
No problem.
At least live, I don't want to jinx it, but live weather has been better lately. It's actually been weather. And it hasn't been super wonky.
Descend to a maintain flight level 110.
Descend flight level 110, but there is no.
Tango 241, contact Center 132, decimal 2 for star clearance.
Center 132, Tango 241, good day.
Killing 226 Delta, request descent, flight level 190.
Killing 226 Delta, descend to flight level 190.
Descend to flight level 190, 226 Delta.
The 842 has the right above 270. The 842, 842 next.
Might just do another flight out of Melbourne maybe next week. Somewhere we'll head further west. The reason it's convenient is it's at my local time in Australia it is mid-morning or something like that. So it's not super busy. There may be some VATSIM coverage, but it's not as busy as if we were flying in North America right now, which would be very busy, and I don't want to do that. So flying in Australia might actually be a good way to get to sort of ease into VATSIM. So I think that's what I'll plan for next time. We'll just continue on from Melbourne. I really want to get to the west coast of Australia. I haven't been there yet. I've only been along the east coast a bunch. So I'll figure out a nice flight. I love this Qantas livery. Like, it's just so good looking.
The 845, expect your right turn 1 minute when ready, descend to flight level 190. Then we're descending flight level 190, velocity 845.
I think that's us. This is from the nearest airport. That contrail up there, that's supposed to be us. I don't know where this is. This is just some little airport. Very interesting. It's funny, the drone camera defaults to 3 different settings. It's like the one that you can control, one on the tail, and then it looks like one from whatever the nearest airport is, looking up at you, which is cool. It's actually really cool when you're on approach or something like that. If you have the time to look, you can just jump out to that drone camera and get a cool angle.
Flightsim 845, it'll be close enough. You turn right, track direct to Rivet, close you can time 55 at 250 knots. No problem, turning right, direct to Rivet, and crossing at 552, 5 knots, so 845.
Killing 226 Delta, request stop descent, flight level 210.
Going 226 Delta, maintain flight level 210.
Maintain flight level 210, killing 226 Delta.
Enter destination data. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Alright. What do we got going here? Let's go check.
845, you're not descending flight level 190. Flightsim 845.
QNH 1017, 21 degrees, 190 at 16. This is much easier if I had this CDU.
What did I say? 21 degrees.
226 Delta X, runway 34 left.
34 left, 226 Delta.
990/16. Decent wind. And a barrel ref. What's our minimum for this approach? It is 610.
Velocity 845, descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 1022.
Descending 10,000 feet, QNH 1022, velocity 45.
Approach speed 131. Cool. Looking good. Got about 50 miles until we start our descent.
QNH 226 Delta, when ready, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1022.
One ready, 9,000, 1022, QNH 226 Delta.
Cessna 604, when ready, descend to flight level 250.
One ready, flight level 250, descend 604.
You have control.
I have control.
I have control.
You have control.
Velocity 872, contact center on 132.2 for star clearance. Velocity 872, contact center 132.2 for star clearance. Yeah, I'm saying the wrong number there. It's velocity 842, I'm sorry. Velocity 842, 1322, please.
1322, velocity 842.
So we are going to be... Now this thing's showing some... It's showing some really messed up stuff. It's not even the right things anymore at all now. What is going on? Spat is still showing the right things in here, but what's on there does not match what's displayed on the device at all. take a picture of this. Let's see if I can get this into the same frame. All right. Hey, Sam. Yeah, we are flying in Australia. We are flying. We took off near Sydney at Shellharbour, and we're flying to Melbourne. We're just about to descend, actually. We're flying this beautiful plane. Yeah. I'm actually probably gonna do another flight in Australia next week, or the next time that I fly on Shacknews. I want to keep going west from Melbourne. So if you have any suggestions, what would be like a good hour and a half or so flight would be from Melbourne due west? I really want to get to the west coast of Australia. I haven't been there yet, so I'm taking suggestions. Oh, Adelaide? Okay, yeah, I'll check that. I'll see how close that is, or how fast we can get there. So we need to be at 9,000 at mate, and after that it was 2,500. At that fix. Okay, and these are at restrictions. Oh, 230. Okay, so we'll have to slow down as well when we get to mate. Good to know. Okay, support. I've literally just asked on the Discord of the spat.next Discord here, so he said to create a new ticket. We're going to do that because it will send him a bunch of logging information, I think. Yes, I do want to do the description is too short. No, I need to do that now. It's a pretty short approach, actually. Just coming in there. Is Qantas like more of a premium airline? That's yeah, it's pretty short approach. I've never flown Qantas myself, but I know that as far as the different liveries that are available for planes, there are lots. Like for this plane, there were probably a good at least 10 different variations of this livery and others available that people had made. So it's a very popular airline, but probably because it looks cool. Like the logo and the red is just, it's really slick. Yeah, I guess Emirates is probably one of the other ones that's very high end. I figured we might as well fly in style if we're flying down here and see if I can slowly circle my way around to the west coast. Where are you at? Are you near Sydney? For some reason I feel like you're near Sydney, but I also kind of feel like everybody I know from Australia is near Sydney. Queensland, yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, I've been around the east coast a bit. Right. Yeah, I've been up in Canberra, I believe, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, the actual capital of Australia, right? Because in my world tour, I fly to all the capital cities, and that's where my route took me. Canberra, sure. Yeah, so I've been there. I've flown around Sydney a couple times. This will be my first flight to Melbourne, and then over to the west coast. I love it. I love the names in Australia. I really do. If it wasn't for all the spiders and stuff, you know.
Altimeter setting.
Melbourne. Altimeter setting, sure, but it's not actually, not yet. What was the... I was just looking at it. In our descent data, I believe transition level is... transition altitude is 11,000. So not yet. I can't do an Australian accent, so I won't, but I do like how all the names of the cities are never the way that they're spelled.
Altimeter setting.
Keeps things interesting, I guess. Right. I mean, and, you know, I think that's only fair. At least make up words that nobody else can understand. I think that's totally reasonable. Actually, I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. I don't know, I'm not quite sure why, but something very appealing about that country, at least from an outside perspective. But I have most of my experience with Australia, Sam, has been watching various TV shows. I used to watch a lot of for some reason in North America there are a lot of reality shows that take place in Australia. MasterChef Australia, a bunch of cooking shows from Australia, a bunch of gold mining shows from Australia. Safe to say that North America is fairly enthralled by Australia in general. We are now passing waypoint Lizzie. I do love the names of waypoints just globally.
Altimeter setting.
Okay, fine. 1017. Oh, did they? I did not know that. That's a fact I didn't know. Alright, so we're getting close to 10,000 feet, which means the autopilot's automatically slowing us down to 250 nicely. English speakers I know personally. And once we get down to 9,000, I think I've calculated this just well enough that we should have enough time. Oh, it's actually... Oh no, it's only going to take us to 250, right? I think so. But as soon as we hit 9,000 feet, I will slow us down to 230. And then we can start... pretty much start preparing for our approach here. There's not much left to go. Let's do the briefing.
Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirm.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Seatbelts.
On.
Are you sure about that? Vero ref.
No, I'm not sure about the seatbelts, but I didn't turn them off, so... What did you do, lady?
3002 set.
3002 set. Minimum.
It did already go to 230. Okay, fair enough.
No DH.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach checklist complete.
Ah, yes, our first officer is drunk. Don't know how or why, but she's not behaving the way that she should.
1,000 to go.
Check.
Oh, it's because we were not... Okay, so you just turned my seatbelts off again, did you? Fine. It's actually working okay then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our destination shortly. If you are making a connection to another flight, please see the customer service agent meeting this flight or video monitors inside the terminal for connecting gate information. For your continued safety, flight attendants will now walk through the cabin to secure it for landing. We'll be collecting all service items, newspapers, and any other items you wish to discard or may not be taking off the aircraft with you. Also, in preparation for landing, please turn off all electronic devices. Stow these devices and all other carry-on items. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during our flight. Please stow your tray tables or return your seats to their upright positions and check the security of your seatbelts. We will be landing shortly. Thank you.
Landing lights are on. ILS is armed. Seatbelt signs are on. We're at the right speed limit, just waiting to cross Mate at 9,000, and then it's a pretty steep descent. What is that? 25 nautical miles to go down 6,500 feet. Just fits in. We should be fine. Scenery is pretty, very pretty. I love that I love it when there's some clouds like this. You can still see the ground, but it provides a bit of texture. Outside temperature should be fine, plus 15, so we don't need to worry about any moisture causing icing. LS India Mike Whiskey is acquired 109.3, 22 miles. That's us passing that, so let's go and descent. No further speed restrictions. 185 at visas. Let's get the spoilers out a bit. Help with the with the slowing down here.
Flaps 1.
Check speed.
Speed checked is fine. That's the part that's not working. She can perform actions, but she can't read some data. For some reason, the WASM bridge or whatever for FS2 crew has broken, which is frustrating because we have to slow down, and so this 185 speed limit is a giant pain in the butt because it means we are quite high now. So let's go some speed break here because we got to get down there. Otherwise, we're going to end up being way too high, and that's no good. I've been on my world tour. I've been flying through a lot of the Middle Eastern countries and now Northern Africa, and I've missed seeing green underneath me. It's a lot of sand lately. Approach mode armed. Still struggling to get down there. I think our actual glide slope intercept is at Matku. So we've got less than 7 miles. It's kind of tight.
Flaps 1.
Check speed.
We're already at flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Okay, so you're useless now because I can't. I have to do my own flaps. Logue star. See, this is why I didn't want to do VATSIM. This is actually a really tricky approach because we did not get slow enough early enough so that we could descend properly. So that one, that's my fault though. I should have paid more attention to that speed restriction. Or I should have just ignored it, but it is going to bite us in the butt here shortly if we can't. We've got 2,000 feet to go. So the problem is now we're going to slow down. Speed brakes are still full. It's going to be a manual landing here because I don't think we're going to make it down to the don't know if we're going to make it down in time to catch the glide slope here.
To go.
Check.
Because we are currently, we might be able to intercept it late if we're lucky. Because right now we've missed it. We're high.
2,500.
Radar altimeter alive.
Check.
If we were on VATSIM, they'd be telling us to go around. Still trying to catch up to that glide slope. I don't think it's happening.
Approaching 2-7.
Something keeps disarming my spoilers, probably because the speed brake's full out. Okay, let's go around.
Sink rate.
Check.
It's a big-ass airport. It's huge.
Pull up. Pull up. Too low. Terrain. Pull up. Too low. Terrain. Pull up. Too low. Terrain. 300. Too low. Terrain.
Alright, let's go around. We've got time, do we? I don't know if we have time or not.
Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Terrain.
Alright, let's do that again. See, ordinarily I would have just slammed that into the ground, but we're going to do this again. Let's climb back up to 2,500. Speed brake off. Armed again. Alright, we're just going to fly a nice little loop around back to the final approach fix, which is nice because that actually stayed there because we missed it, so we would have landed right on time, but we probably would have broken the airplane, so, you know. We also forgot to activate
2,500.
No, I guess we are on there. That's fine. Let's try that all again. It looks like that's Melbourne down there. Downtown. It's smarter than to put the airport far away so that people like me don't cause any problems. Loc star, glide slope star, flaps full, flaps 3 rather. Speed. It's gonna work out this time, boys. Flaps full.
Flaps 1.
Check speed.
This is new, I think, that you can skip past these, which is nice. Flaps full. There we go. That's very good.
Landing checklist.
Cabin crew.
I was able to.
Advised.
Auto thrust.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
ECAM memo.
Landing. No blue.
Landing checklist complete.
Well, all of those things were wrong, but loc and glide slope, and we are lined up, and our speed is good. We're set this time. We've got it now.
Approaching 27.
1,000.
Should have actually looked at what the real go-around procedure would have been, but oh well. The one we did was all right.
$500.
So we're just gonna go all the way to the end, or the second last exit, make a left, and then loop around to the terminal.
100 above.
Continue.
Check.
200. Minimum. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. Retard.
That sounded pretty hard.
$70 knots.
900 meters remaining.
Bit of a hard landing, but
After landing checklist.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Spoilers.
Disarm.
APU.
Start.
Radar.
Off.
Are you sure about that? Predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist complete.
On taxiway, on taxiway.
thanks for the follow. These numbers. Let's go park right next to the. We can't park right next to these because there's a little Cessna parked there. We'll park right at this gate here. Your game just freezes when you press fly. Have you got any add-ons installed? Because if you do, you're going to want to get rid of all of those just to be safe. That's the most likely cause.
Taxi light off. Parking checklist.
APU bleed.
On.
Are you sure about that? Engines.
Oh, really? And that happens with all planes? And on PC, I assume, obviously. That would just be very strange, and I don't think I know what would cause that, unfortunately.
Off.
Seatbelts.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking brake and chocks.
Off.
Parking checklist complete.
There's the gate. We are done here. We have made it safely on our second attempt after a go-around, but we made it. We landed. Yeah, that's difficult to say. These, I never usually recommend a reinstall because I don't see why that would solve anything. But if you've cleared out your community folder and you have nothing else, and you have no other maybe controllers plugged in, that's the only other thing that I can think of. I don't know why it would crash. The only times I've ever had crashes was always related to some add-on or another. So, don't know what to tell you, unfortunately. Maybe come back in a week. I'll be flying again next Thursday at 6 p.m. here in Shacknews. Let me know how it goes. Until then, folks, thank you for watching. Thanks for bearing with me through some of these hardware issues that I'm having today for some reason. And you got to see a go-around. We're in Melbourne. We're going to head further towards the west coast of Australia next time, probably towards Adelaide, depending on the time that takes. We will see how that goes. Until then, folks, take it easy and have a good week.